Good evening, everybody. How are you doing? I just realised I've accidentally left the kitchen light on, so we have this unfortunate shadow in the middle of my face. It's okay. It's been a bit of a rush to get the stream started this evening. Had a lot going on. I've been trying to carry on with some work on Magnus. We've been working on the gold, on his armour, getting all of that laid down, ready to continue with this red. But look at how vibrant all of this is. Let's grab one of the wings, get that in there as well. You know, these are the colours that we're working with for the entirety of this bad boy. Tomorrow, I'm really hoping to get the wings finished in terms of the white needs to go down on those, as well as the feathers on Mr. Magnus himself. So tonight, that means we're going to get on with the armour. In the chat, we've got Datsun Des, Tony Spruce, Tony Montana, AJC72, and Crash Test UK. How are you folks? Hope you've all had a good Thursday. Grab the part. I'm going to finish off the base coats on the gold. Not got a lot left to do. It's literally just these two bits right here. Des, thank you very much for that host, sir. Much appreciated. And A-Code getting his sub on that is 6 months. What an absolute boss. Legend, mate. Thank you very much. Subs mean a lot at the moment. You guys know that I don't like talking about the sort of financial side of what we do here very often. But I had some bad news on, well, to be fair, Monday, but the bad news didn't really hit until Tuesday. And unfortunately, unless there is some sort of miraculous intervention between today and something along the lines of the 16th or so of November, I will be made redundant from my job, which sucks. I like my job. It's a lot of fun. It's something that I can get my teeth into. But the company's decided to move in a different direction with their software engineering team. And so if I can get something else internally, I will be moving sideways, which may not be the worst thing ever. But we are currently exploring other options. So your support means a fuck ton right now in these somewhat more difficult times. Now, we're still going to do all of the cool shit. We're still going to have the giveaways. We're still going to make sure that the stream continues with all the fun stuff that we do. But we may, unfortunately, at least in the interim, have a few less of like the big giveaway weekends that we do. Tony Montana, I'm really sorry to hear that, man. It is a fucking horrible position to be in. It's just part of the world that we live in at the moment with the whole COVID thing. There are some people in positions of power making some difficult decisions. And that's the way it is. Hopefully, mate, you can find something else. I don't know what job sector, like what industry you work in and what the job market is like by you, but I'm fortunate that if nothing else, we can probably get another couple of commissions done. Maybe stream for a little bit longer and try and build this a little bit if we need to, just while we're looking for another job. So, plus I got an Invicta wall suit done. You're a wedding chef. Oh, motherfucker. I made the joke. So when I found out, like, it's okay. It's okay. I'm being made redundant. That's fine. I'll go back to my old job. I'll go and be a chef again because the culinary industry wasn't impacted by COVID. Huh. Well, that's okay. That's okay. I can go back to wrestling and stuff. I can get in shape and go back and be a fighter because that. What other qualifications have I got? I'm occasionally funny. Like, I mean, at the end of the day, I could sell my body. On the minus side, since the start of lockdown, the price per pound has definitely decreased. However, the amount of pounds has gone up. So, winner! Malev! How you doing, brother? Mate, let's get some love in the stream for this absolute boss. The most freestyling, absolute bad boy of the Twitch painting stream scene. How's it going, my man? If you guys don't already follow him, you absolutely have to. Rocky, to answer your question, within probably the next 4 weeks, I will be giving my termination at work as they are making my department redundant. Sorry I haven't replied to your Discord message. As you can tell by that, my life has been ever so slightly hectic. However, I did receive something today, and that's everything for the Mini itself. Just the base to pay for, which I sorted out with Damien. So I'll contact you later on, and we can talk about that. Very sorry for lack of communication, but everything's been a little cray. OnlyFans, fucking hell. Even mine aren't big enough for that. Not yet. Mal, it's one of those things, man. It's. I know I'm not the only person feeling it, and so I'm never gonna ask for anything other than maybe a little understanding. And if I can still give to people, then I'm going to. You know, we're still going to be doing this. You guys can still, sat in lockdown yourself perhaps, tune in, get your paint on, you know, put your pics in the whip, get some free feedback. That'll never change. That's never, ever going away. Although I wish this shadow looks surprisingly like a phallic object would go, but I've left the kitchen lamp on, so we're stuck with that right now. I think I'm going to do this bit gold as well. No, we're not bumping the cost up 20%. You can fuck right off with that. I gave you a price. That's the price it's going to stay. That's not happening. I appreciate it. Genuinely, sir, I do. But, no, man. I am a man of my word, especially when it comes to the commission side of things. Besides which, I'd have to go even more above and beyond the Call of Duty, and I'm not sure I'm capable. There are limits, man. Meat Hook's having a phenomenal day. Please don't go back and watch the start of the VOD. Snake, my department is with very little sort of optimism and light at the end of the tunnel. Probably being made redundant and terminated in about a month's time. So, Rocky, I don't need anything from you at all, brother. You are good. Head on back to work. Des getting his sub on. 13 months. The coolest number. I mean, until we get to 69 months, and that's a long time. Unlucky for some, Des. It was unlucky for you. You've been head mod for a large amount of those 13 months. Sorry for your pain, brother. So let's just get in here, hit all these bits. I'm still trying to work out whether I'm going to leave these red or not. I think I'm going to, because I like the fact that we've got a nice strong colour there. They're going to lead on as the wing sort of expands into these little sigils being in red as well. So it's going to help point everything in that direction. However, I was going to do this as regular bone. Maybe the clash will be slightly too much for that. Don't know. Commissar Bob! Mate, I love the fact you just drop by and say hi. I genuinely do. It's a little bit like, give me a warm and fuzzy feeling. Good work on your AdMech, by the way, as well, dude. Getting on with that. Oh, dude, that's awesome. Like, that's why we do it. Like, all of this wasn't born out of some desire to try and become internet famous, because there are easier ways of doing that, let's be honest. Especially than sort of sitting here painting fucking Aeronautica miniatures from time to time. But it was born out of a desire to want to help people get to where I got in the hobby myself, hopefully without having to go through necessarily all of the pain of some of those hobby lessons, you know. So I'm really glad, man. Like, messages like that, that's the best thing for me to hear right now. It ran out yesterday. Was that your one, like, break in the streak? Fish! How you doing, fella? These little rivets, I don't even know why we're giving them a quick pass over with this, because you're not going to see it by the time I do the highlight coat, but I guess it's just one of those slightly annoying things. I have no idea what this little lump is there, but they're moulded on. That's meant to be there. So, Ramstroker! Holy shit. This guy right here. She's one of my favorite clients ever. There's a pile of Blackstone Fortress waiting for you. Actually, everything you haven't done, brilliant. So this guy is the guy who I did the Blackstone Fortress commission for. Everyone remember the Eldar Ranger with the unfortunate sniper rifle? That was John. Mate, so good to hear from you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you haven't had any unfortunate circumstances as a consequence of what's going on. As someone is obviously quite heavily involved in the travel industry, hopefully you're doing well, dude. I'm guessing there's still a lot of non-passenger flights that you have to be sort of looking after. So, given I thought tomorrow was Thursday, I'm feeling better now. I've realised you're shit, mate. Are you still feeling rough? Fish, if you're not well enough to watch the stream, then please just go back to bed, brother. Get your head down, get yourself better. John, I may get in touch in that case then, sir. Depends on what's happening. I've got a load of commissions booked up now, but if I suddenly have another 40 hours a week free, shall we say, there's every chance I will let you know. Oh, mate. Go and get some rest, dude. Right. Tune and watch the VOD at the weekend or something, but it's drugs time, not rest time. If you say so, man. If you say so. So I've realised while painting this that Magnus has got some truly fucking weird iconography on his body. There's these weird maggot-y things. There's the snake birds, which somebody I think it was Crownblade put in the chat. Leave the stream running the volume down. Fuck all that noise. Like, just that's a no. But right now, I'd love to make Twitch partner, because that would help significantly. But it will happen when it happens, and we'll get it the right way. Oh, and if you've come here via a raid, if you could just remove the raid bit from your URL. No. Earn that shit. Jim Nelson! How you doing? That is totally your choice, Fish. And I'm glad I can bring painting tips, enlightenment, and humour to an empty room. Tony, it will, dude. It totally will. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but when you least expect it... Wait, no, that's not the right one. But yeah, I think the snake bird... I think Crownblade said what it was called, but I remember it having a Mexican name, or an Aztec name, I suppose, more accurately. It was like QZA and then many letters. It looked like a word that I'd written whilst trying to write something else. Even worse than that. You're kind of close. Yeah. Probably sinks into the floorboards as much as my thick head. Brilliant. Brilliant. Up at 4, mate. Crazy. Dude, you take it easy, mate. I will hit you up on WhatsApp if anything becomes available in my calendar. Get some rest, man. Good to see you again, John. Really, really good, man. Glad you're doing well. I fucking loved painting Blackstone Fortress. There was some epic, epic minis in there. That's the one, Fish. Yeah. I know at least something has sunk in, right? I've seen your painting blue become as equally blue as it always was. Alright, once we've got the base coats done for all of the gold, I'm not going to go through the highlights on everything else. I'm going to go back to the legs and start working on the red. So the first thing we need to do on that is start laying down some washes. And I've been thinking about this. There's every chance I use purple wash. Because think about things, right? This was blue under here before there was red on it. At least my blue doesn't start as green or red like your... Listen, Fish. How do you know? Someone might have changed the words on the bottle and you don't know. Game shop in Stroud are looking for a part-timer. Not to rule it out, but might also just rather chew off my own testicles. Which means I'd go through the pain of breaking my back, and then during that time of intense agony, would still somehow bite off my gonads. My local's great. My local is great, but there's no chance that I would like to work there. Because I have issues with some of, let's stress this, very, very much some of the management. Not all of it. The majority of it are properly good guys, salt of the earth people. There is one in particular I'd happily throw down a flight of stairs. Started airbrushing and oil washing because of the stream. There you go, man. Oil washes for the win. Fucking love a bit of oil washing. If I had any purple oils, I'd probably oil wash some of this because all these little lines are going to be the devil's own. Might just oil wash those anyway, but we'll see. We'll see. And this evening stream is sponsored not only by this absolutely rad music, but also by the scent of Meep having taken a shit. Ugh, it'll pass. I think... Ugh. How can something so small, cute, and fluffy make smells that powerful? It is the bird, snake, dragon thing. Yes, absolutely. It's also, and the only reason I know that name is because it was one of the anima in Final Fantasy VII, I think. Or it could have been 8. That might have been Final Fantasy VIII. I might be lying. There's at least one nerd in the chat that was like, I know all of Final Fantasy. I think it was 8. Janelle, it's normally first thing in the morning. Like, I come downstairs, ready for a coffee and to face the day. Like, too many sprues. I have said on stream, when I've dropped ass. In fact, during the Necron weekend, I think, it was horrendous. Then again, a couple of days of eating nothing but cold pizza is going to do that to you. And I even remember gagging at my own. Like, that's how bad it was. Like, normally you can at least tolerate it and sort of, like, oh, wow, that's just a bad one. But when... Ugh. Right. Nearly done on the goal. Just got this little bit to do, this little bit to do, and then we're not going to do those little rivets because, like I said, when I was doing the other one, there's no point. But I'd started, so I'd finish. Clearly become Jeremy Paxman. Banging. Right, that's all of the base coat of the armor done. So Fish reckons it wasn't 7, and he sounds very much like the Final Fantasy nerd of the group right now. So let's grab the leg armor, which is one we finished the gold on. So look at where we're at with that gold. We've worked this through from... Actually, we haven't finished the gold. We've got a little bit of washing to do on the gold, which we're going to do at the same time as the red. This is why I'm thinking we might go purple. Yeah, brilliant. Cheers, Des. Trying to blot that one out. But some of the areas on the wings here, just help break those up a little bit. We just want to get in there just a touch with a wash. Start breaking that down. Separate everything out a little bit. Maybe on some of the ribs on the skeleton. But otherwise, we're going to leave the gold as it is. You know, we went through that layered process with that. We don't need to put a wash over the top of it. We're okay. But we do want to wash all the red. And especially when we get to things like this, where we've got these nice straight lines and so on in there. These little geometric patterns of Magnus. Want to make sure that they stand out from a good distance from the miniature. I'm thinking we go with purple because all of this red started life as blue. Now, if you missed that stream, !YouTube, go and watch that. All of the red here was black, worked up to blue, worked up to white, and then yellow added to it before we put red over the top of that. So it's a very different process to how you would normally paint red. And as you can see, I think it's worked pretty fucking well. I mean, that is a banging red. Slightly in bad books, despite how I feel I keep chucking because I missed what hamstered it a bit of 3 times earlier. Brilliant. Brilliant. Unlucky, mate, but you know. My sister had a hamster when she was like 7, I think. I might have been 8, maybe 9. We're a year and a half apart. And fuck knows why she did this, but she called it Fang. It's a hamster. It's like that long, head to tail, and then tail. Fang. And she was fucking petrified of feeding it because she thought it was going to bite her because she'd called it Fang. Yours is called Nibbles. Brilliant. It's fucking nibbling your missus at the moment, mate. So anyway, she wouldn't feed it. I'd have to feed it. Hamster got used to me. I started being able to pet it a little bit. Happy days. Then, when I was trying to... This is such a horrible story. This is such a horrible story. When I was trying to show her that, you know, you can stroke it, it's fine, you can feed it, so I don't fucking have to. Stroking it, I turned around to show her, and I think I poked it in its eye or something, and it bit my fish. Hang on. It bit my finger, alright? And I fucking like that out of the cage. And unfortunately, right in front of my sister, who was a child, I may have KO'd the hamster on the top of the cage. I feel very not proud of that. Oh. Oh, it fucking hurt though, I tell you now. It hurt like a motherfucker. That dude, despite the fact he was X'd out, got the better of that fight. It was... it was still alive, but it did die about 3 days later, and I feel I may have had quite a lot of the blame for that. So, Fang, like, here's to you. I'll see you in hell. Janelle, I'm reasonably certain that may have been, there's an outside chance, what happened, and it was completely by accident. So don't give me any shit on it, alright? Right, so I've got bad bruise. So did the hamster. No, I've got piggy purple ink. That wasn't the hamster. Hey, Cold, I mean, we can go in there with a little tack life and just... But I feel... Fuck off with that towel story. That towel story was brilliant, but fuck off with that. It scared the shit out of me. We need the world's greatest defibrillators to bring that hamster back. That's all I'm saying. It's called Lilith, but my 4-year-old, when she put her hand too close to its cage. That's not Lilith, that's Bum Bum. Too many sprues. You'll have to climb on the roof of the cage, Mission Impossible style, and then drops. She thinks he's doing it. Brilliant. Crooked Grin, you've got the best story so far. Yeah, Des is probably it's past its sell-by date, you know. So they use some piggy purple ink, which is a nice dark purple. Imagine like a dark version of the GW Nagaroth Knight. And as always, just gonna hit this with some water. Keep it nice and thin. It probably shouldn't work for the RSPCA. Not if they've seen this stream. Just face plants into his food. Maybe he's trying to do like a Scrooge McDuck thing, but with food and not gold coins. And how did that not give him severe scarring? If you dove into a pool of pound coins, you are going to come off worse. Right, this isn't really giving me the definition that I was hoping for in these. In fact, there's almost no trace of that being any different whatsoever. So what we'll do is we'll try and apply a slightly thicker coat of it while still obviously keeping this thin. If this doesn't work, then we'll switch to brown for stuff like this, because I'm just going to have a little bit more darkness to it. With no scratches, you smash every bone in his body. Yeah, possibly. Tell you what, let's see what it's like on the red. Just in general, essentially. So if we were to shade like the eye sockets of these bird faces, Maybe we'll go in with just some raw dog, piggy purple ink. See if that makes any difference. It might end up being that rather than this, we do a mix of maybe this and brown. We might just go straight into brown. This is all a bit of an experiment. So I have got some good news. I know we started the stream off with like somewhat bad news, but I have got some good news. I decided it was so fun being completely sleep deprived and painting tiny robot men that we're going to do it again. The Necronathon 2 Judgment Day is approaching. And it's almost certainly going to be the first weekend of November. There will be some prizes. We will have some giveaways. But that's where it's likely to be. During that time, I am already divided from my sleep, you're absolutely right. We've got, or we're going to get, the Silent King. I'm going to paint a Silent King in that weekend. I've got a Doom Scythe here I bought off Mikey. I'm going to buy another one. Going to get another 20 Necron Warriors. Someone do a mini count for me. That's 22, right? 22 minis. I've got 5 Immortals to do. I'm hoping to get another sort of 15 between now and then. What else? What else? Nightbringer. Cesaras. And maybe a couple of the standalone Cryptex, plus maybe another converted one. Silent King counts as 1 minute. Technically 3, I guess. You know, like the 2 many things than that. So yeah, 48. We'll try and round it out to a good 50 or so. But it does include larger vehicles. We've got the Flyers. Obviously, we've got the Silent King himself. It will still be a bit of a speed paint, but with a few extra details. Oh, if the Silent King counts as 3 and it's 50 already, bang in. So it's a much, much smaller challenge than the last one in terms of there's less minis. There's less than half. But damn. It's going to be a lot to do. So I'm hoping we can do it on that weekend. But it depends on whether I can get everything I need by then and done by then. So you can't order Silent King till payday, which is in about a week. And then this brush is not a happy brush because of the amount of wash that's on it. It just balloons out and breaks. So I might have to switch up a brush. But we'll see. I think the purple is working pretty okay. Nice and dark, giving us that right sort of level of contrast, and it brings it a little bit back to that. So I'm happy overall with purple as our wash choice, but we need to make sure that we've got something that can deliver on these bits. Okay, this is actually working now. So we've gone for it unthinned rather than being let down with some water. Tizd, I missed your comment earlier on. That was a big meaty comment. So your ex loved rodents and animals in general, should aquariums, you know, pet mice, whatever. And this lady she worked for at a farm. Oh no. Jack Russell's not. Ooh. Fish, that's some amazing trivia. Your snake got out once and ate the missus class. Oh shit. Seta Craig, that's a rough one. That's a rough one. What happened to Tills? First night it's going to be fun. We get to watch the Chaos of USA election, Civil War, and then finish the weekend watching JK's Same Pain Necrons. Yeah. But yeah, that's the goal. It's my other half's birthday on the 5th, which is a Thursday. So we won't be streaming that Thursday. I have said this before, so quell your outrage. It's the first time she had a birthday since we've been together, so I can't very well be like, yeah, enjoy your birthday, but I'm busy, bitch. That would be a no. I would like to have sex at some point again, so we'll have to stop the stream for that. So yeah, no stream on that Thursday, but I'm thinking we can make up for it with the Necronathon 2 Judgment Day. Yeah, it's worked out okay. Much better. The Dyson, thank you very much, Chief. A main unit, how you doing, man? I do have a life. I mean, I keep it in my spare time only. You know, we restrict that right down to the bare minimum. But it is there. She even watches this on YouTube every now and again. Like, on her way to and from work, she'll put a bit of stream on and sort of flick through to see what we've been up to. Happy failed terrorism day. I mean, that's one way of looking at it. Doing a wife's birthday on the 1st of November. Please don't let me choose between you two. Mate, that's an easy choice, right? Tell her to rent a movie. Like, here, dear, I'll cook you breakfast tomorrow. I've got to go. J stream's on. I mean, I could sing your missus happy birthday if you watch the stream instead. We've done that before. Good old Danny. Still looking forward to seeing some more of his work after our last painting lesson. Just getting that purple in around this winged feathered serpent. Quetzalcoatl. Is it Quetzalcoatl? Is something like that? Like the pronunciation? Why not watch it together, we win. Fair. Pointless Cracker, you cannot talk about your wife that way. That's completely insensitive. You got plans for a birthday? I'm guessing she doesn't watch the stream, so, you know. Can't tell you what I've got Jackie for a birthday, because she might watch, find out. I think she'll like it, though. Mate, you need to introduce her to the channel. You know, get her to come in here, like, see the glitz and the glamour of painting, and suddenly she'll be like, oh my god, this is so cool. You should paint all the time. However, you would have to tell her that you occasionally talk to people masquerading as somebody called Polly, which... God, I never ever want to know. If anyone ever does do something like that, please don't tell me. I'd be flattered. Don't get me wrong. Look at this brush. Look at that. Can't use this for for the wash. Lots of your Quee poly. Nice. Right. Tell you what, actually, I'm going to use one of my Army Painter synthetics for this. Not that one though, because I've used it for oils. That'd be really, really bad. That one. There you go. So all we're doing with this is we're just sort of breaking up some of the areas of red, making sure we've got everything snapped into focus, getting our shadows down. Super simple, right? Obviously got a fair amount of this to do, especially when you consider the rest of the armor for the model, but just on this section we're on now, there's quite a bit. And then after this, we can start the highlights. I'm going to keep the highlights really, really small. One of the reasons why we've sometimes I start saying one word and my brain changes it to another word mid-sentence without consulting my mouth. And so we end up with some really, really weird things being said. But one of the reasons that we've done our pre-shade, our pre-highlight up to yellow was so we didn't have to do a lot of edge highlighting. I want to keep this looking pretty fresh with lots of gradients rather than lots of edges. So we're going to keep our highlights quite small. We're going to use a mixture probably of Kador red and Flash Kits yellow. Just going a nice bright red. Don't want to end up with this too orange because then may as well just painted it orange instead of red. But there you go. Don't tell someone here is a baroness of bushes. Yeah, there you go. Anyone come over and do my filing? Fuck no. How much you paying? I could do merch. I could, and I spoke to somebody, actually, don't tell him about this, but before Mikey started doing t-shirts, I spoke to somebody about doing t-shirt designs. Under the same sort of business model of one t-shirt, it's a limited edition thing for that month only. So I get pre-orders, I buy the t-shirt, and off it goes. Because there's another painting channel who, I won't mention any names, but they're like the next level of painting. And they have a similar business model, and I think it works really well. Also, the guy is a great artist. He has done a lot of work for the channel. I figured we could work out some sort of like sort of profit share, basically. So he does the art, I do the sales, and then boom. But he's become a lot busier, and as a consequence, doesn't have time. But certainly, merch is something I want to do, and if it wasn't for the fact that it's a massive investment, and I'm very uncertain now of what the immediate future brings, one of the first things I was going to do other than t-shirts was dice. Who doesn't want dice? Yeah? Dice. Amazing. But I was going to order like 1,000 Chessex dice, which is a significant, it's more than my rent. And then fire those out. That might still happen. But the only issue with that is that you can't really make much per dice. So like a pack of 10 dice, as a consumer, I can tell you I've got plenty sat around here. Here's some Hellstorm dice. Here's Alliance Open dice. There's wooden spoon dice over there. I've got a bag somewhere here of different Hellstorm dice. I've got a bag of SN dice upstairs, you know. For 10 dice, I'd spend a tenner. As a consumer, I'd maybe spend 20 quid on a pack of 20, but would prefer it if there was some discount deal for, like, buy a pack of 20 for, say, 18. You know. So, I know what it's like with, like, the pull of, like, yeah, cool dice. But I also know that out of those 1,000 dice, 200 of them are taken to events and just throwing at people. So that already, again, eats into the profits. And then you've got to sell all of it to be able to make anything out of it. But that was high on the list of things to do, essentially until the start of this week. The Mahjong dice is very, very small. Yes. Yeah. Wait, somebody actually wants some of GW's new marine dice? In an unironic way? Is it to make your opponent's life harder? Because that's just mean. Hazard Strike t-shirt, brilliant. Hazard Strike dice, mate, I'd fucking cream my pants over actual Hazard Strike dice. But I can't see that happening. Not without each one being like individually color 3D printed and stuff. And the amount of money you'd need to spend per dice for that is beyond a joke. Just realised I forgot to do the underside of this gold on every single one of these panels so far. So we'll work backwards from this one to do it. But you can see what we're doing. We're just carving in that shape. It's snapping everything into focus, making everything a little bit sharper. So we start getting the highlights down in a minute. We've got a nice little set of contrast going on. It's going to really, really help us out. The yellow have the Imperial icon, but they have a 1 and a 6. And then aren't the symbols on them a bit weird for like the regular numbers? The only ones out of all of them that I remember looking at thinking they look at least okay was the Raven Guard ones, because of all the little bird heads that make the normal dice pip shapes. Am I wrong? Or are the fist ones normal as well? Wound counters. How many wounds is that guy on? Let me count the burning bits of poo. 4. He's on 4 burning bits of poo. Tell you what, bizarrely, this is quite nice using a brush you don't really give much of a fuck about. I'm not going to make a habit out of it, but yeah, interesting. Just do that line there and then that surround on the gold medallion thing. Fist ones are awful. Are they really? Des, you're talking about the Forge Rod ones, right? I'm thinking of the new released ones that GW did, which was, I want to say, Fists, Sally's, Raven Guard, and was it White Scars? I think it was White Scars. To me, they're as bad as the Eldar Aspect Warrior dice, which were like, why would you put written numbers on them? Please don't do that. That's a no from me, Games Workshop. But I really did like their Forge Rod sets that they put out not long before. I thought they were great. paint this flame as well. So again, just paint the recess, don't paint any other part of it. Got a little over the edges there. Let's just, there you go, wipe off the excess, we're okay. Kind of cheated that one, but it's okay, it worked, that's all that matters. Cool, right, last bits of the leg armor, and then we can start working on the red highlights at this point. So, all these bits of gold, let's just get a quick ring around. She sent me a... Okay, do you guys want to see something fucking awesome? So, I paint. This is my creative outlet. It's this and talking shit to you guys. That's why we're here. That's why you're normally disappointed, Talent Number 4. My other half makes cakes. She has 2 Instagram accounts. One is called Missy Cat Cupcake Emporium, I think. How shit is that I can't remember? Missy's Cupcake Emporium, all one word. This. Alright? Missy's Cupcake Emporium. She has just finished making a cake for a friend. And the friend said, I want a Cthulhu cake. Fish, fuck off. So, I saw this earlier on her shelf, and it was a ball of chocolate cake that was covered in like chocolate buttercream icing on a flat, round bit of chocolate cake. This is it now. What the fuck? How epic is that? Fucking quality, right? I'm absolutely blown away by that. That's just... As far as I'm concerned, she can do all my green stuff work from now on. That's it. I've got a sculptor. Pedders, sorry, you're out. How sick was that? Well impressed. Like I said, earlier on today, and I mean at like 6 o'clock earlier on this evening, that was just a little ball of chocolate cake. Safe to assume you eat lots of cake then. I actually don't. I'm gluten intolerant, so I don't have any cake. I made a lemon tart for dessert last weekend that just fit inside a regular sized tart tin. So like whatever that distance was, you know, maybe a 10-inch tart dish, right? And we just had the last slice of it earlier on today. So, neither of us eat that much in the way of cake. She can't eat a lot of dairy, and I can't eat the glutens. It's the most evil fucking crow in the history of everything. Look at this horrid little bastard. That little wash, that makes all the difference in here, as you can see. Daddy Tubbs! That's how I'll be. I'll be Daddy Tubbs. Yeah, it's just blue tack. You can see a little bit of it. Well, you can see it there. Honestly, don't buy the fucking Games Workshop Citadel painting handle. There is literally 0 point in doing so. Just buy an equivalent amount of money's worth of shot glasses, just cheap plastic ones, and blue tack, and then you'll have enough to mount like 60 minis at once and do like massive batch painting. You can't eat gluten, you still eat a lot of cake, because you're a word that we can't say on the channel, by the way. See, I can eat things like pizza and stuff like that as long as I make the dough myself, because I can eat sourdough because of the way the bacterial there's a thing called the FODMAP index or something like that. I've forgotten the science part of it, but basically some people are gluten intolerant, not celiac. That's different. The Art of War is here again! Oh, you boys. You absolute boys. How's it going, guys? How is your stream? Welcome. We're still working on Maggie. We're now getting the shades down on the red and the gold so we can start doing the highlights on his armor. Let's get some love in the stream for these guys from the Art of War. One of the premier 40k podcasts as well. So if you like a podcast, go check them out. Still waiting for my invite there, guys, you know. Yeah, I don't know if you're aware, but your mature language filter is on. Fishery just came up as that to me. Oh, that's fine then. Fish, don't be a dick. Wait, that must be the only word that gets redacted, because we say some horrible shit in here. So... You got your painting handles free, so I'm quite happy to use them. Really? Did you knock over a Games Workshop, Des? Like, don't tell us and incriminate yourself. Just give us a sly wink. Oh, that's your mature language filter then in that case, mate. Not... like... You ever heard of macaroni pudding? It's my favourite, and none of my friends want it because it's pasta. You don't mean mascarpone, right? Just making sure. Also, the Art of War, I'm guessing these guys are stuck on like a commercial break or something. Titan before, careful with that R word. Twitch doesn't like it, which means that I am forced not to like it. Just trying to find motivation fish. My Legion of the Damned at the moment, between all the sculpting, converting, and painting black, thinking about going to buy a load of Death Guard, or maybe Knights. Ooh. To be honest, mate, I wouldn't do that. I would just fight through the pain. However, what I would do is just get one mini that has none of those elements and just do a palette cleanser. So go and find like a mini, like maybe like set yourself a restriction of like nothing more than a 50mm base or something. Blast through that, have a great time painting it, just do some fun shit that has nothing to do with your Legion of the Damned. So don't paint any flames, don't paint any of it black, don't paint any of it if it's got like big skulls and stuff on, choose a different mini, and then go back to it. Sons of Rolo! How you doing, buddy? Paint a bunny. You could paint a bunny. Yeah. Fish, when I was 5, that was the first time I got my skull cracked as well, so that's something else we have in common. Look at that. We used to have this, this like build it yourself, like play frame and stuff. I think it was called Jimbo, Jimbo, and it was basically these like blue tubes. They're plastic tubes, really hard plastic tubes. And you had little coloured corner sections that might have been like a 3-way corner, a 4-way corner, just a 2-way corner, like extenders and stuff. And you sort of fit it together to make different things. And we had some wheels, so you could make like a car, you could make a slide, you could make tables and chairs and all that sort of stuff. And my sister ran the length of the garden with these blue tubes, And she came up close to me, she yelled my name, I turned around and she beamed me in the head full on. And I've got a crack in my skull that was right up here. Fucking bitch. People ask why we don't get on. I don't bear a grudge, but that unprovoked skull cracking at the age of 5 might have something to do with everything else, you know. Break. Hey Tubbs, maybe that'll help you out. You know. Tony Montana, how did I get into commission painting, and how did you get your first clients? Is this somebody that maybe wanted to start their own commission painting business? Let's see. So, basically, most people that can paint have a load of friends that either can't or don't like to. Alright? And just because they can't paint or don't like to paint doesn't mean they don't want cool looking toys. Okay, that's the first thing, right? And I had a friend of mine who... Lee! Yes, mate, it is. And we haven't even put any highlights on this yet. This is just with the inclusion of some shadow. So look at the difference between this little guy and this little guy. Just by dropping in those recesses. Yeah? Massive change. Massive change. So I had a friend, Marley, who had a Grey Knights army. And he was like, look, I really like them, but I'm struggling to paint them. And I'd suggested a couple of things, and I'd sort of helped him out with a few, not really sort of lessons, but just a couple of quick tutorials. Like how to do their armour, and how to do a quick version of their power swords, and so on. And he was like, look, I'm just not getting it, mate. I don't think I'm going to bother. So look, I'll tell you what. I'll paint them for you. He was like, I said, bear with. I'll paint them for you because commissions is something I've thought about starting up again. So back in the old days, I used to do commissions when I worked at GW. We used to get people come in asking about whether we'd paint minis, and we weren't allowed to as staff members. That was a definite no from head office. We could give lessons, that was it, but we couldn't do shit all else. So any conversation about somebody painting a mini, you used to have to go out of the shop for, but me and somebody else that I worked with would regularly just take customers out of the shop and just say, look, you know, we can't talk about this on the store because of the way that head office views it. And obviously we're looking at a job that's cash in hand for various reasons, as I'm sure some of the more financially astute of you can work out. But that's how I got started in commissions in the very, very first place. This time around, like I said, Buddy had an army, and he was sort of struggling with it. He was at his wit's end of being able to paint it. And he wanted it to look really, really good because he wanted to go to No Retreat. We were both sort of competitively minded. He had a background playing Magic the Gathering professionally as well, believe it or not. Like, that was his literal job, was playing card games. And says, look, I'll paint it for you. I appreciate you're not in a position to be able to pay me. So what I'll do is I'll paint it for all of the Death Guard that you bought not long ago and have got just sort of sat in your bedroom doing absolutely fuck all with. Plus, you're younger than I am, therefore you're better with the internet. I need you to set up things like social media accounts and so on, so I can start advertising this and, you know, go from there. And he was over the fucking moon with that. That was a great deal for him, and it really was a great deal for him. So I ended up painting something like 25 odd Grey Knight infantry, a big plane, and a couple of characters, plus 3 Dread Knights, all for basically spare parts to be able to paint my next army to try and sell it. That was the goal, right? So between painting his Grey Knights, which I was going to use practice with my airbrush with, and painting this Death Guard to stick on eBay or whatever, I'd have made hopefully a decent amount of money. Warren Cap! dude, thank you for that sub with Prime. Absolute superstar. Welcome to the channel. I don't recognise your name at all. Exclamation point win and exclamation point mystery to find out why it's good to be a sub around here. And let's get some love for Warren Cap as well with this little sub. So yeah, that was the goal, was to paint a Death Guard army and paint this Grey Knight army, stick one of those two on eBay, give the other one to my mate, and start building up a portfolio and a presence on Instagram and Facebook and so on with all of that. And Moon Tyranid get his sub on as well! Mate. Thank you very much, Maxim. Much love, brother. Anyway, I painted his Grey Knights for him. And that was the first army I got to No Retreat. It only took me 3 more years of applications to get my own fucking army there. But eventually we got there. You lurk. Good lad. Good lad. Thank you again for that sub, dude. Really, really appreciate it. Especially right now. Life's about to get hard, so... Cheers, man. So that's how I got into commission painting this time round. And it took a long time of basically charging my mates next to nothing to paint their minis, so I could build up a portfolio. That kept going on Instagram and so on and so forth, and then eventually it happened. I got my first client that wasn't somebody I knew already. That was the Ultramarines. So you've seen both the Ultramarines and the Grey Knights down here. That was Grimme, who's in the chat every now and again. And yeah, really, really good army to paint. Love doing it. And everything sort of went from there. And the more you do, the more exposure you have, the more chance you have of getting clients. If anyone is thinking of becoming a commission painter, don't talk to any of my clients or I'll throw you downstairs. Joking. If anyone is thinking of becoming a commission painter, my advice to you is don't expect to get rich at all. Certainly to begin with, to build that client base, you will have to charge way less than you want to. Because you're unproven, right? You've got no track record, you've got no reviews, and that's not good for anyone, okay? Joking, not joking. But keep going, keep doing it. I have raised my prices. I've been going now for 3-ish years. I've raised my prices several times in that time, because I feel the work is worth it. And I'm still busy, so what can I say? I can't be that far off the mark. Yeah. Tootie Spruce, you did. You did. Tibble's Evil Cat says, I make a loss. Mate, I don't get minimum wage. Like, I can guarantee you that for nothing. Not even close to minimum wage. But that's because I put a lot of time and effort into this. Yeah, man. Fish, you're absolutely right. Like, we're charging about 1/3 of that for Magnus, and I'm still not making minimum wage. Like, but it's one of those things. I love what I do. It supplements my income. Well, that's about to change, but it was a supplement to my income. Now it might just be my income, depending on what happens. But I do it because I love painting. This is my chill out. Someone's paying me to chill out, which I'm now streaming, and Twitch is helping me chill out with a little extra cash as well. So it's great. When it all starts to work, it's phenomenal, and I love it. Somebody, I think it was Polly, said I couldn't part with a mini that I'd put that much time, effort, and energy into. But that's the cool part, right? Like, I was a chef, and it's the same with the food. You kind of live on praise. That's what helps get you through your days. And the fact that people have enjoyed what it is that you've done and provided for them. It's one of those things that is, it's just a nice feeling. And I've had my fun. You know, I've painted it. I don't need an army of Thousand Suns or whatever else, right? So, what am I charging for Magnus? Not an insignificant amount. Like I said, it's about a third of what somebody was talking about for another company in one of their Primark figures. But it will take more than 50 hours. Because a lot of what we do, remember, is on stream. Stream time and real time, you can't get the same amount of work done in stream time as you can real time. That's a fact. By the time you're sort of chatting to people and entertaining, and you're, you know, making sure your camera angles are right and your blue tack's not falling off the mini and everything else that comes alongside it, you know. Okay. I mean, I couldn't do what I'm doing to Magnus in 10 to 12 hours. At all. Maybe you've got better processes than I have, you know, for getting your stuff done in a way that is quick and a bit more efficient than me. That's very definitely a possibility. But we have gone for a incredibly sort of over-the-top paint scheme on this guy. I'll show you the sword in a sec. I don't know if you've seen any of this so far, but this is the unfinished Blade of Change. You know, that's a good couple of hours worth. In fact, that was 2 streams worth of work. So, you know, we're getting there. Also, this is for Rocky, who is an absolute fucking Superman. He's been a member of this community since the absolute beginning, and I can't not give him my A game. I just can't. So we've even got a custom base that's been sculpted by a Golden Demon winner, Damien Pedley. And this guy is just looking... I wouldn't like to say I do a better job, mate, at all. I mean, you've seen my work, you've seen your work. You're the only person that's in a position to say. There you go. Right. Just got this little bit of detail here, and then that's one of those finisher shading on. And like I said, look at the difference in detail. Like, look at this side of it where we've got the gold, all of the angel things nicely shaded in. And then look at this. There is an enormous difference just for putting these lines in, right? Moon, that's fair. I find that I tend to cut more corners on my stuff, and I won't do it on commission. Like, whatever I'm painting, that's what gets the best that I can possibly deliver on it. Whereas my stuff, I'm like, oh, fuck it, you know, we'll hide that with some weathering later on. Is the usual thing that happens to my own minis. Like, or we get a situation like these Necrons where we're just thinking, right, you know what? I'll paint that in a weekend. There's only 110 minis. Should be a problem. And then it becomes a lot of fun for the stream. What's not to love? You'll start procrastinating on a base for your nights. Something that helps showcase their scale, I think, is necessary. So my knights, which we have been very fortunate with and won a lot of painting awards with, have got those buildings on, as you've seen, and I love that. It makes the knights look as big as they should do and really sort of brings that into perspective. I'm a humongous fan of doing that sort of thing. You don't need to do it with buildings. You could use trees, you could use anything you like, to be honest, mate. You find a way of imparting that scale into what you're doing. What's the base look like? My man, you're in for a treat. So Magnus sits on a 100mm round base, and believe me, there is one in there. I have to zoom out. We haven't got enough zoom out. We're out of zoom out. Zoom and disenhance. This is the base. This circle that fits to about there is the 100mm circle that Magnus normally stands on. This is the base. So we've got roots and things. We're going to do some weathering powders all over this, which we're going to get from Rival Crafts. Exclamation point Tufts in the chat. It's going to be a stream's worth of airbrushing to get all the pillars down, all our base layers for the paint around it. I'm going to chuck some washes on that towards the end of the stream. Leave that to go. Get some brushed highlights on all of the stonework. No dry brushing. No dry brushing ever. Dry brushing, that can fuck off. Weathering pigments over the entirety of that. Get some weathering going on these pillars and stuff as well. It's going to be sick AF. We've even got this little thingamajigger, which is some of the extra bits from Magnus. This sits in this little square here, and the fiery orb sits just underneath Magnus's outstretched hand. Oh yes. Gamer, how you doing? He's not gonna have center of gravity issues. That thing weighs a good 300 to 400 grams. That weighs at least a pound, if not more. My scales are just out of reach. Otherwise, I'd grab them. And they're also slightly covered in flour because I was having to shape my loaves before the stream started. Otherwise, no bread for me tomorrow. I'll weigh it after the stream, and I'll let you guys know. Just remind me at the very end, or I will forget, and then I'll pop it in Discord how much that weighs. But it is a chonky motherfucker. We're going to pin him into the base with some plastic rod up through his feet as well. So it'll be taken off for transport, because obviously he's got to be shipped out to Rocky in the States. And I want to make sure that I can sort of disassemble it for the journey so he doesn't just snap into a billion pieces. It's going to be one of the most protected things being shipped ever. Like the wings and everything on this guy. We're fucking petrified of those break-ins, so there's going to be a lot of protective gear in here. I think we missed the... Yeah, we did like the lines off this gem on the other side. The gems, by the way, are going to be a very, very pale blue. There's a couple on his chest armor. There's obviously these two on the legs as well. Interested in that being super high contrast to everything else we've got going on. I want that to look real cold. Viking! Dude! Feels like a while, man. How are you? Some love for Viking, actual old schooler. been here since before it was cool to be here. Nobody say anything about that. Let me live inside my own illusion. How you doing, fella? Lee, take it easy, mate. Go get some rest. I said don't say anything, Viking. You ruined it. Been back for 2 minutes and you've already ruined it. I'll tell my mum of you. You can always wrap Magnus in foil, put him in the box, and use expanding foam. Fuck no. No, 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 no. Just no. I know exactly what you're saying, but fuck no. Because knowing my luck, that foam would just crush him instead. Right, how did it get to you, Des? Well, I chipped through the foam. It took me... I said Des. I meant Rocky. It was the other cool guy on the stream. It took me 3 days to get through the foam. We got rid of all the foam. And then I realised that Magnus had basically shrunk to the size of a small packet of peanuts due to the foam just crushing him. You know how I'd feel if that happened, mate? I'd be crushed. Dear, oh dear. Shit jokes will never stop. If I think it might make one person at least smile, I've got to say it. Suspend him in a tub of jelly. What flavour? What flavoured jelly do you think will have the best properties for transportation of demon Primarchs? It needs to be something that has lastability, sustainability, and hopefully a little bit of pizzazz. Strawberry? I mean... You jellied your directors... Oh my god. Wow. Wow. If we weren't all in lockdown now, because of our apartment and what we do, we'd have so much fun breaking people's shit. We can certainly give the IT department a run for their fucking money for a lot of things, but it didn't survive. Oh dear. Pink champagne? Tony Montana, you baller. Pink champagne, Jelly. Do you also have high tea? With like finger sandwiches? You can get it in the bag to stay sealed. These are the keeping components safe for shipping PCs. Wait, people... No. Lord Gitface, I've clearly misread the situation. Are you saying people actually use jelly to send stuff? Because, no, I refuse to believe this. I refuse to believe this. Fish, that does sound well deserved. You say Windows 98. I mean, oh, expanding foam. Huh. Might look into it. Some of these super fiddly. This is where oils would have been really, really easy for this, but we've kind of committed, so we're doing it. We're going to clear a lot of this with some highlights as well, so you know, no big issues on that. Like I said earlier on as well, I'm kind of enjoying the fact that I got a brush that I don't really have to give a shit about for this this bit of shading as well. I can jab the tip in a little bit, you know, no issues on that. Yes, It's okay. Danny! How you doing, man? Floppy drives? What heresy is this? That's a blast from the past. In before somebody comes up and says, well, actually, I have to put in some punch cards to get my computer started. Bakaneko-san, I think. Maybe just leave Magnus in a few pieces possible, and yeah, I think that's probably what we're going to do. Is going to make sure everything fits, and then ship it in a couple of sub-assemblies after taking photos. So the wings will be separate. The hand will probably be attached, the sword arm, because with enough bubble wrap, that will be fine anyway. But him off the base, almost guaranteed. And those wings are going to have to be separate. That's just an accident waiting to happen. So, using Army Painter wash. No, actually, I'm not. This is one of the few washes that I don't use that's from Army Painter. I normally use Army Painter purple tone on gold when we're washing the whole thing. But for this, because I wanted something that's a little bit thinner, the Army Painter washes can be a little bit thick. They can be a little bit claggy at times, and certainly for some of what we're doing, we need a little bit more precision than that would afford. We're using Piggy Purple ink from P3. I had it a second ago. Here it is. Formula P3, Piggy Purple. There you go. Jay, why not make a custom foam casing out of a block of foam and a hot saw? That would actually work, to be honest, but hadn't thought about it. Might have actually filled enough of the mold line gaps and getting things to paint in. You know, some of those are just like folds of skin, right? Please tell me you don't have a great clean one, because that's horrible. I never want to see that again. That was an abomination unto everything. I'm not even religious, and I nearly crossed myself when I saw that thing. Brush for hire. Dude, how are you doing? There's another commission painter. How's it going, champ? Good to see you. I saw you in another stream the other night. I wanted to say hello, but I was kind of lurking. Do I say hello or not? The eternal conundrum of the lurker. But how are you, champ? Cheers, Des. I think my phone's broken for my sub. Hasn't come up at all. Mate, sometimes it doesn't. Ron TV, thank you for the follow and welcome to the stream. Cake Fisk, good evening to you as well. It had stopped, mate. I had to set it going again. Just a few little bits here and the birds, and then that little snake eagle thing. Is there a second chat? No. Brush for Hire, things are interesting. Had some unfortunate news this week. My department at work is probably all losing their job. We're just going through a month's worth of consultation now before what we believe to be an inevitable termination period. So there's a lot going on work-wise, which sucks, but it's fine. It's okay. We'll be all right. No issues. Guess we've got today some shot glasses. My one is shocks. I never touch booze. Brilliant. Me neither. It's fine, mate. It's fine. Right. There are people that are in far worse positions than myself because at least I have some source of income. We've got the painting, we've got the Twitch, and so on. That's going to help me out keeping the lights on while we get another job. Obviously, the timing is a bit shit. The sort of time of year, and it's never a good thing when it happens anyway, let's be honest. So yeah, Des, have you hit 500? My God, man. My God. There's a man that is committed. Or possibly just needs to be. Right, last bit, and then we can start highlighting the actual red parts, which, like I've said a couple of times now, we're going to use these highlights very sparingly. Several reasons. The first one is just to make sure that they're a little bit quicker, really, if I'm honest, but also just to limit them so that the majority of the highlights that we have are gradients rather than stark edge highlights. We do get some unemployment benefits. Like Fish has alluded to, they're not grand at all. But, it's better than a kick in the bollocks. Can attest to that. The minimum stuff is a bit bleak. So in 2 days, I will have been at my company for 4 years, and thank fuck that it was this month, not next month, that I joined, because I would lose potentially over 500 quid for that. It's a conversion of, there's a Talon Master and there's Samael, using custode bikes and Raven Wing extra parts, basically. And I loved Samael. He was one of my favourite things I've painted this year. It's absolute joy to paint. Sammy Says was a regular thing that happened on stream. That was a Chaos Knight giveaway. That was a great fun one as well. We had a lot of fun here. But yeah, basically, Cake, I will earn a week's worth of pay for every year. Dude! Thank you very much, mate. Honestly, that is tremendously appreciated.
Hope this helps a little. Work sucks.
I know. All the small things. Thank you. Yeah, just thank you, man. You don't need to do that, though. Anyone. Buy yourself some toys. Go to Element. Buy yourself some toys. Go to Rival Crafts. Buy yourself some grass and so on. Let me have the sweet, sweet affiliate monies. And then we can put your toys in the whip gallery and give you something to talk about and long the stream out a little bit every now and again. So those bikes and that Dark Angel's Dread. So there's Sammy there. The same guy. It's too late already. Think, oh, fuck off! Don't do that, Fish. Don't need to. The same guy I'm doing that for. I've got a load of intercessors I'm building right now for some more dank angles, and we've got some of the assault version going on here too. So, yeah, got a load more for Mr. Nick very soon. Right, so here's our highlight mix. It is super, super bright, as you can see. So we're going to keep this really, really, really sparing. Saragon, you utter boss. Stroke Mystic, I'll get to that. Let me just give Brush for Hire his meeps, because Saragon's got them currently. And Brush for Hire. There you go. Puts you to just over 9k. Over 9,000. There's, yes, you would do quite well out of redundancy, but it's still one of those things where it's a case of just find something instantly if you can. And I've got a few things that we're... Motherfucker. I'm not doing that as a job. You subbed and you didn't get me. It's because your sub notification hasn't come through, mate. If it doesn't come through by the end of the stream... There you go. The bot recognizes. Now check your meeps. Yeah, I've spoken to a few people already. Some jobs that aren't. Some jobs that are hobby related, shall we say? And there's a possibility of some work that way, and I mean as a full-time paid position rather than as like here's some commissions or so on. So there's some chance that Toy Soldiers will be how I pay my wages, working alongside somebody else, but I don't know. If I'm honest, best case scenario, manage to keep my job and we just carry on as normal. Likelihood, slim to anorexic. Basically. Right. Question was, is it favourite miniature? Favourite mini ever painted and why? Favourite mini ever painted and why? God. There's a couple. Let's go through it on like individual sort of standpoints. So, like favourite like character model was the Spoilpox Scrivener I did for Ben last Christmas. No, Christmas before. That one! There you go. Loved him. Fucking loved him. That was done on a whim as, like I said, a Christmas gift, and was essentially my take on the Piranha Plant from Mario. And I thought it was brilliant. You know, a Gypsy Cron. Yes, a Scorpec Lord was super, super sick. Can I call you Bacane? Is that okay? Because it's quite a lot of... Fluke Skywalker, how you doing as well? I am always super selective when it comes to edge highlight. Bacca is cool, alright. Always super selective when it comes to edge highlighting, because nothing looks right with fucking boxes drawn around it. God damn you, G-dubs. Stop painting that shit that way. So always selective. We only hit a couple of edges. A, it looks more natural, like I've said. B, it's just fucking quicker. So just graze a few edges, right? Don't paint everything, otherwise what was the point in doing those fucking gradients in the first place? So it works really well on nice straight lines like this, obviously. Though I think I'm going to put a little bit more yellow in this, just to amp it up a little bit more. It's not quite as much pop as I wanted. So yeah, I love that Spoil Pot Scrivener. That was cool. Idiot works too. Listen, Idiot, that's you, fish. None of that in here. Let's see. Favorite vehicle. That's a tough one. Maybe that. Monica Pear Tree. Thank you for the follow. I know. I read the chat. Still going to give you grief. Just watch too much anime. Fair. Isn't there an anime just called Baka, like the fighting one on Netflix? I watched that. That was quite good. It was a bit weird at times, but that was quite good. Favorite vehicle, I think, because it was cool because of what we were doing. The old school World Eaters Chaos Knight. The one that's in the gallery, the blue and white one we did for that weekend stream. It was the first weekend stream we did. It was a stream-iversary, the 1 year anniversary of the Twitch stream for Mobile Miniatures. So that was cool. It went to a good home. That was super cool. We had loads of prizes given away over that weekend, as well as that donations from other gaming groups and so on. It was just a fucking epic weekend. Like, so I think that one, because of Baki, that's that one. Yeah, that was fun. I like that. I thought it was good. Yeah, big fan of that particular model. And then if we got another one that's particularly... Samael was awesome. Samael actually was the first Instagram thing I did that got over 1,000 likes for any part of it. So that's got a little like special, like, oh yeah, I love that. Backer, yeah, that makes sense. Because of the way I paint, we've already got most of our highlights down just by dint of doing the airbrush work. So this is more about just establishing edges and directing the eye to certain areas of the miniature. So just maybe making a particular highlight stand out a bit more, or making a shadow stand out a bit more by having the highlight go down next to it. Maybe about just sharpening up an edge and giving it a little bit of contrast, perhaps. There's loads of reasons to put a highlight down. I tend to call them, the difference between the two being, one would be a common sense highlight, as in it makes sense that the light hits that part of the model, and the other is a rule of cool highlight, where I'm just putting it down because it makes the model look better. And I'll tell you what, I'll try and call them out as we go through. So all of these were rule of cool highlights, apart from a couple which were common sense highlights. This was a common sense highlight. These around the top of each of the bird heads are common sense highlights, because again, the light should hit those areas and draw out a bit more detail. That one just down there, bit of a rule of cool highlight, because that's a dark enough area. You don't actually need it there, but by adding it there, it helps accentuate the eye socket a bit more. So, Steiner, how you doing? And Nybag, what up? First was a Pumpkin Pyro. That wasn't a weekend, that was a 1 day. We did the Pumpkin Pyro at from 10 a.m. to 12 midnight, I think. That was a one-day stream. The Chaos Knight was the first two-dayer. But I did love that Pyro. I was super, super stoked with that guy. That's the first bust I've ever painted. And there are plans to do another one. Sponsored by Mr. Chris Frozin. Exclamation point Frozin! Rule of cool highlights for the win. Fuck yeah, man. Sammy's a biker, not a vehicle. QATV rant. Fuck that fucking bike. Hashtag bullshit! So yeah, some of them, like I said, you put in because it helps you to get an effect on another part of the model. Some of them you put in because they have to go there. That's my little way. But like you said, everyone's got their own way. We talk about that a lot. Everyone that watches the show, I can teach you how to paint the way I paint, but it's not necessarily the way you should paint. You should have your own style that may be influenced by mine. Mine is influenced by a lot of other artists. I try and take elements of some of the things that they do that I like and blend them with the stuff that I already do to try and create something that's maybe a little bit different to the average painter. We certainly don't do that heavy metal style drawing boxes around everything. But here's the difference between this one with highlights. As you can see, everything's nice and crisp. Let's get right in. You know, you've got all these nice crisp details. We've got these tiny highlights that we just added to the miniature there. Here's one without those highlights. Looks good, but it's just missing that little thing, right? Band's Lost Arms, how you doing? Airbrushing, for me, makes the hobby. Like, I love painting, but I fucking love airbrushing. Think about like the armor we've done here, yeah, and the way that came about. That blue, up through white, up through yellow, into red. For all of this, you can't do that by hand. Not with a paintbrush. Not without some serious time. And at which point, why would you not just mix it with red and kind of go from there anyway, right? So, I like that side of it. Being able to just bash out some OSL is great. And you guys know me, right? OSL doesn't end with the airbrush. You always come back in with the brush, get your highlights, get your shadows, you know, do all of that properly. It's not just a quick, I sprayed it with the airbrush and now we're done kind of thing. I see a lot of painters and a lot of even studios do that, and that's half a job. Come on, peeps, you know, do a bit more. But that instant gratification you get from the airbrush, give me those dopamines. Get that hobby high going on. So good. And let's be honest, it's much quicker. So again, more common sense highlights because this bit clearly catches the light. I think I'm going to glue this. No, I think I'm going to blue tag this on Magnus's leg once we've done these sections. We might even be able to get these bits done tonight as well. Like Fleege Fluidio. Right. So that Doom Scythe over there was delivered yesterday. And my housemate picked it up because I wasn't at home. And it was addressed to Joe something, middle case, Joe middle case of, how did he spell it? SIEEJESTUDIOES. Sleege Studioes. Good old Joe Middlecase. He's such a card, isn't he? I love Mikey. He's such a dickhead sometimes, but I love him. Oh, holy shit! Too many sprues. What is this? Absolute nonsense. Giving away 5 gift subs. What a baller. Let's get some hype in the stream for this guy while I dish out some meeps. So first up is Ghost Miniatures. Let's give you your meeps. Ghost Miniatures. Here you go, fella. There's 3,000 meeps for you. We've got M. Sherman 1424. M. Sherman was here earlier on. You still there, Matt? Let's give that boy some love. Crash Dash UK, Rob. Whoops. S-H. I like pie 95. Who doesn't like pie? Whoops. Damn it. How have you spelled your name? I-L-I-O-L-I. Oh, God, what is it? Elite speak. I'm dyslexic. It's hard enough as it is. And Captain Adorable. All you guys just been given a sub by the phenomenal. Holy shit, Captain Adorable. You spend a lot of time in the stream. That's a good number of hours. You've been lurking. Fish says solve the problem, gain the problem. I don't understand. Toots Brew says, I did a thing. Yes, you did, dude. You did do a thing. You did that thing. Very well. Thank you, man. Seriously, thank you. So all of you guys have just been given a subscription by Too Many Sprues. Should do exclamation point win and exclamation point mystery to find out why it's a good thing to have a subscription here. As far as the mystery thing goes, the miniature for the mystery box is currently within the box. The eagle has landed, as it were. It's good to go for that giveaway. Orange just glued on the end of the thing. I use at least 20 to 40 drops of Flow Improver and 20 to 40 drops of Vallejo Thinner as well. Chuck a ball bearing in it, like a steel like BB pellet or something. Shake the fuck out of it and then pour it through a tiny funnel. You can find all of that on Amazon into a little so-and-so drop a bottle. Drop the Great and Queen one, so I don't need to worry about how to paint behind the sword, but damn. Is the chocolate sword intact? Or is it going to become the... It's a chocolate sword and it's a fat guy holding it, so what did you fucking expect? Because that would be really unfortunate if that was the case, man. Right, let's get some of these. We're doing the line underneath each of these horizontal lines. Just going to help add some depth to it, and then we'll grab a couple of these as well at a slightly different angle, just to help them stand out a bit. So we're not going for like all the edge heights in the world, we're just getting a few on there to let them snap to the hand. Oh. Wow. Backer definitely going at it like an animal. So I thin the living fuck out of my paint. I really do. Way beyond like what you would normally need to. But I like to work with that kind of consistency. And for the airbrush, like the paint that I've transferred to that bottle then gets thinned bare minimum 1-to-1 flow improved paint, which means that all told, we're looking at something that is maybe 40% paint by the time it comes out of the airbrush and 60% flow improver and thinner mixed together, right? Crazy thin is how I like to work. And at massively high pressure as well. Crank your compressor up to maximum and learn some trigger control. That's the way to do it. Guilty as charged. It's all good, man. What works for you, right? That's what it all boils down to. Cool, so that's these two leg plates sorted out. I'm just going to do a quick set of highlights just down the actual edge of some of this, just here on that line. And again, we'll do the same just in here. In fact, actually, what I'm going to do is do a quick highlight, just a drop highlight under here. Most model damage down to my children, unfortunately. Yeah, totally, mate. So I have a lot of regular G-Dub paints. Some of them were bought prior to me discovering other brands, but some of them are bought because I genuinely think they're really good. Flash Gets Yellow. Fucking spectacular. Love it. One of my favorite yellows. And I paint a lot of yellow. Like, anyone that's been around the stream for a while will know that we're talking the truth right there. Big fan of yellow. Some of their greys I like. They're just decent tones, good hues. What else is a GW paint that's like a go-to? Some of their purples, actually. Nagaroth Night, like that one a lot. Yeah, big fan of that, actually. What else? Need some more water on my palette. Let's have a quick look over here. Whatever they call Graveyard Earth these days. I've forgotten. Steel Legion Drab? Stalon Green, that's a good one. Caliban Green is at least decent. You know, can't shit on that too much, to be fair. Tunis Brews is almost certainly still here, I Like Pie. And we've just given you some more meeps as well as a consequence of you having another sub. So exclamation point win and exclamation point mystery, you'll be entered into both of those contests on the last stream of the month, which this month is the 29th? Yes, it is, the 29th. As far as the mystery prize goes, the first of the 3 minis is this one. Sergeant Ripper Jackson. We've got 3 minis that I want to paint this time. Like, there's usually one mini that I'm like, I'm just gonna put this one in because like I feel like it. But all 3 of these, super cool minis. So we've got Ripper Jackson, That's the first one. The second one we'll unveil soon, but the other mini is in the mystery box. So in here is a miniature of some description. And if you don't like the choice of Ripper or the other mini that we're up in for offer, choose the mystery box. A mystery box, it's definitely got something sizable in there this time. It's a weighty box. It could be a pet rock. I mean, last month's was a grot. We could be doubling down on the slightly booby prizes. Or could be something cool this time. Who knows? It's always a risk taking that mystery box. Sometimes it's better the devil you know. It could be something really cool in there. Honestly, I'd be down with a pet rock. As long as you paint them very nicely. I'd do eyes and a smile, and then that'll be it. Is it the new Hexmark? It's not even out yet. How could it even be in the box if it's not out till the day after tomorrow? Come on, man. I'm definitely getting one of those as well. Please paint like McCree from Overwatch, because I don't even know what you're talking about. What is a McCree? Besides which, if I do the hex mark, it's blatantly for the Kyberdine dynasty as well, so. Right, I want to try and keep these quite thin, unlike that first line that I put down, which I'm very disappointed about and has brought great dishonour to my family. And that one. That was not so good. It's a cyborg cowboy. That makes sense. Skynet should have tried to Terminator 6 guns. Why didn't they do that? Exactly. Right? We spent all this time and energy at Skynet of making sure it could masquerade itself as a human when we should have just given it 6 arms. Can you imagine though, like Arnie would walk into the bar, give me your clothes, your boots, and your motorcycle. I need your jacket. I need your jacket. Yeah. Especially when it can teleport. I mean, that is an added bonus. That is an added bonus. I like the thoughts on that. So one of the guys in the new chat we've got to work for our current situation said, if anybody feels like it, I'm going to do a Terminator marathon this weekend at my house. And I'm like, hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. How can you have a Terminator marathon with only 2 films? And his answer was, it's easy. You start drinking during the first film, and you get so hammered by the end of the second film that you can't remember if you've watched the first film again, and you go back and watch the first film. Ah, that makes sense. And then I felt a little bit harsh, because I thought Dark Fate was actually okay. Not brilliant. Not brilliant. Don't get me wrong. But okay. I see Fish agrees. But yeah. I thought it was alright. It was alright. One season of a TV show. The first season was okay, actually, yeah. Oh, mate. Fucking Terminator Salvation. You should force people to watch that as a method of torture. The Geneva Convention would step in pretty fucking quick on it, I think, you know, and like shut you down, but fuck it, they did the wrong thing. Make them watch Salvation. Dark Fate's on Prime now. Okay, cool. That gives me something to chill out with. Another stogie. I need to wash this brush out. I think some of the wash that we were using earlier on got into the ferrule a little bit and it was split a touch. But we can probably sort that out easily enough. So just get a little texture on this little winged snaky dude. He's got his feathers. Bringing in some shape to that. Get these little highlights in here as well. Star Trek Discovery. Oh, nice. I think I stopped watching just before. Did the second season have like a little mid-season break or something? Because I remember watching some of, I think, the second season, but I watched the first season. I thought that was good. And I'm not really a Star Trek or a Star Wars fan, so for me to say that, I must have really, really liked it or really, really enjoyed like part of it. The main character looks like somebody I used to go out with. Sort of. Her name was definitely not Michael though. So, you know, that's a little bit of a draw as well, so. Watch The Boys yet. I haven't seen last weekend's episode. I haven't had a chance on that one yet. Toonie Spruce, unlucky man. You take it easy there, bud. Thank you for stopping by tonight. And again, humongous thank you from everyone here, please, for your very generous gift subbing. Much appreciated, man. You take it easy, and we will see you Sunday night. Have fun, man. Right, so there's one set of these done. Let's try and get the other set done. And maybe we'll put the armor plates on Maggie just temporarily with a little bit of tack while we go through the whip gallery. Yeah, haven't... Did I watch last week's? Fuck. No, I haven't. So tomorrow I'll watch 2 episodes of The Boys during the day, which will be epic. Lovecraft, as in like HP Lovecraft. Is there some sort of season for that? Is that a show? I used to play the Call of Cthulhu RPG, as in like the pen and paper RPG rather than a computer one. But I did play, I want to say it was called Eternal Darkness, that came out on the GameCube, and that was fucking sick. Really, really like that. That was based on the HP Lovecraft universe as well. It's on HBO. We don't get HBO over here, so I will find some other way of watching it, perhaps. I might need to get like a free trial to Disney Plus or something, because I still haven't watched The Mandalorian. I saw a couple of episodes of it, and again, not a Star Wars guy. Star Trek? Star Wars. That was Star Wars. Not a Star Wars guy. But kind of enjoyed it. Like, I've watched some of the Star Wars films. In fact, I think I've seen all of the Star Wars films. And whilst the universe doesn't like reach out and grab me like some of the people in the chat I know that are here, I like the base story. I just think some of the acting's subpar doesn't really describe it. The fucking Solo film was just absolute tripe, but I quite liked Rogue One. Quite like that. Yeah, I thought that was really good. So So, I mean, Disney is. I think Disney peaked on their plot writing at like Sailboat Mickey, was it? That was the absolute peak of their plot writing capabilities. So, go Disney. Unfortunately, they've now got the Marvel franchise, and I just hope to God that some of the Marvel writers continue to write for that, because I love comic book films. Really looking forward to the Black Widow movie, and then the 3 TV series they're doing to follow on from the events of the MCU. Scarlet Witch and the Vision. Ant-Man was in one of them, and I forget the other one. I never played any of the 40k RPGs. A little bit of a lie. I played Inquisitor when it came out, and that was not very much fun, if I'm honest. It was a bit of a clunky rule set, and things just became very difficult. My favourite has always been the Call of Cthulhu one, just simply because it was set in the real world for the most part, and so you could identify with the character really easily. I played a lot of D&D and stuff like that, and I love D&D, but I prefer the D10/D100 dice rolling system to D20. I just do. I have no real excuse as to why, or reason as to why, rather I should say, not excuse. I just like it more. That's all. Gotta concentrate. There you go, got those lines in there. Ooh. Alright, nearly at the point where we're going to go into the whip gallery, guys. So you've got about 5 minutes or so to get your pictures in. Exclamation point Discord. And Baka, thanks for the follow, dude. Much appreciated. Glad you managed to find the channel this evening as well. It's good to have you here. Been fun talking to you. So, yeah, exclamation point Discord. Go and put some pics up of stuff that you've been working on. Ideally, no more than 3, because I hate to skip past people's. And I want to make sure that everyone has their own, their chance of getting their work seen. If you want feedback, just ask. If you don't ask, I might give it to you anyway. But if you specifically want feedback on a certain thing, obviously feel free to ask. We try and make this all about your stuff and ways that we can maybe help you improve your painting skills, or maybe give you some suggestions on color schemes and things like that. And while you guys are seeing the whip, I will put this together onto this. Dr. Manhattan. I'll go and think we'll rage from time to time. Don't come to my house. It speaks French. Let's get a shout out for Baka. I didn't realise you were a streamer, mate. You should have said. Parle un petit peu français. Very slowly, and occasionally with a German word or Spanish word thrown in, because I've forgotten the French one. Not enough blue wang. This is Twitch. We've had to just, blur it out. Nice, man. Whereabouts in France are you? My folks live in France. I really like it out there. It's one of my favourite places. Rural France. Not so keen on, if I'm honest, I'll just say it, Paris. Like, but equally, from the same perspective, I fucking hate London. So. Right, let's move over to the whip. So this is Bernie 1975. First try at heavy weathering. Any feedback? Welcome. Let's have a look. Let's get right up close to this as well, because difficult to see from that photo because of the light. This guy has definitely seen some better days. This is really, really heavy weathering. It looks like it's been done with some form of chipping. So either like salt weathering or chipping fluid. The reason I say that is you can see texture, and I really like that about it. Let's see, a couple of things. What have we got? I would probably take... no, it wouldn't work for the style that you've done. Right, here's the comment, okay? And you're not going to like this so much. Use a sponge and a brush. Okay, cool. All of your weathering, super realistic. Okay? Great job. The powders you've put in there, little bits of streaking grime and stuff. Love that. Big fan. Very happy. The one thing it takes away from it is the like the cockpit harness thing. So you've got these metal tubes, and unfortunately your brushed highlights there are in some places quite thick. So I would maybe go back in and just thin those down. So on like those little cuffs, you've got the two bars that come down past his head, yeah, and those cuffs there. The worst culprits, the ones at the bottom of that. If I'm honest. If you take some of the main colour of that and just paint it underneath the highlight, you'll thin down the highlight. Because that's actually detracting for me from your weathering. Because you've got super crisp, super detailed, very realistic next to not. And equally the lights that you've got in the cockpit there, they are detracting a little from your weathering. Other than that, the only thing I'd suggest, because I like what you've done with the weathering, I'm very, very happy with everything there. The guns could do with something slightly different. So you've given everything kind of the same like overall tone once over with the weathering powders and the paints and everything that you've used. I would suggest drilling your barrels with the nipple guns that he's got. Just get a craft knife, and look, I've done all of these today. Let me just pop back quick. Like all of these little guys had their bolters drilled by just literally taking my X-Acto and then pop it in there and just twisting it a few times till we got a nice sort of hole. Looks so much better, and I was happy being ignorant. Brilliant. There you go. There you go. But yeah, I just do that on those. It'll make a massive difference to it. Again, it'll bring back that realism, which is what you've got from your weathering. But I'd also maybe look at weathering them with a slightly different aesthetic. So maybe go with some black soot, something on those sorts of lines. You don't need to go down the crazily bright metal heat scoring I use on my knights and some of the things that you'll see down here, but I'd maybe darken those down rather than going with like a sandy, rusty kind of colours. Overall though, mate, you should be really, really proud of that. I'm really happy. Because it's great. Really, really good work. One other thing you could do, and it's way too late now. Way, way, way too late now. But one other thing you could do. Get some decals down next time before you do your weathering. So on like the shoulder panels that he's got, on the actual shoulders, I guess, of the thing itself, just some little bits here and there. Get some transfers down. There's loads of marine ones with like bits of fucking squares, like checkboard, whatever, chapter symbols and all that sort of shit. And then weather the fuck out of those. And the whole thing will look much more interesting just because of that. So give that a go. Great job though, dude. Really, really good job. And my favorite thing about this, it's gonna sound fucking stupid, but my favorite thing about this is you've managed to get a war suit in motion that doesn't look like it's falling over. Apparently that's really hard. Well done, mate. Well done. Right, Maladeus started working on the S-Lord. S-Lord being Scorpec Lord. Go with some more noise on the base, and I'm really going to try and make that big blade shine. Also, here's my mate's first attempt at non-metallic metal. Okay, cool. We'll get to that in a sec. Let's see what you've been up to with your Scorpec, dude. So you have got the trillion sub-assemblies. Maladeus. It's cool, man. It's cool. Keep it going. Just doing a stealth sort of check out of your desk and bits box at the same time. Nice, mate. There's loads of cracks on the... I remember on the back of his armor. So if you want to paint pink into some of those divots, make sure you get that into all those cracks as well. There's loads of battle damage on our legs too, so again, you can keep that kind of theme rolling from there. Please tell me that what you've actually done is cut some Watsits, or depending on where you are in the world, cheesy poofs in half and glued them to his base. Please tell me that's what happened. Close. Shit. So, I know somebody who took some Eldar flyers to a tournament. I'm not going to mention his name. I think that's fair, but somebody might know him. And he had... oh god, really? It is actually candy. Shit. Oh, that's horrible. Yeah, he hadn't based these flyers. So he bought some glue from a supermarket. And he bought some Doritos. I shit you not, nacho cheese flavor. Scrunched them up. Glue. Nacho cheese. That was how he based his minis to get them on the table. Yeah. It's semi-famous. I'm not going to mention his name, but the flock is coffee grounds. So you've got coffee and candy. Okay. Whatever works, dude. At least they're not nacho cheese. Right, let's get your mate's enemy. Not bad. Not bad at all, man. Okay, feedback. Get him to smooth out his blends a bit. Yeah, so he's gone with a layered approach to it. You can tell. But you can see the step change in what he's done there. So what he should do is just thin the paint down a little bit more. In fact, exclamation point YouTube, get him to watch the video we did on glazing, where we did the Dark Angel's shoulder pad. So if you guys remember, we had the Judicia, it had an ultramarine shoulder pad, and we turned that into a Dark Angel shoulder pad. And the glazing technique we used there, where I explained it on the palette, broke it down into the different stages of dilution for paint and when to use those. He could benefit from that and just smooth out those blends. And what would happen once he's done that is have a sword that goes from dark very smoothly up to that brightest highlight, which comes in super sharp on that angle there. He's done a great job though. First attempt at non-metallic metal. This is really, really good. I really like his choice of colours as well. There's that little bit of kind of a chestnut auburn colour in there. Gives it a nice warm feeling. he should be proud of this. It can go a little further. Obviously, you can get that blend a little bit more refined. But fair play. Fair play. Get him to have another go if he wants to. And then get him to come back and show it off in the stream. It'll be sick. Type number 4, I promise I'll paint the rims black. As well you should. So you got a couple of bikes. And an Ultramarines army list. Absolver bolt pistol. Oh dear. Master of Sanctity. Oh, what is this bollocks? Chapter command. See what have we given him? Litany of Hate. Okay, man. As far as the bikes go, not bad. The green one looks a little. I'm gonna say a little rushed on the green, if I'm honest. Not sure what the plan was there. I like your bases. Have you made these? These look like they've been sculpted. Is this you? Nice work on your crosshatch for your Black Templars. You can tidy up a couple of the white squares a little bit, but otherwise looking good. Yeah, nice work. GSW ice rollers, nice, nice. I still haven't got any of their rolling pins. I do like them though. I want to pick some up, but haven't had a project that I wanted to use it on specifically yet. Good work, dude. Good work. Keep it up. Why the 2 chapters? What's the deal with that? Just trying out different color schemes or something specific? We've got Cormac. My first try at texturing cloth, he says. What is this monstrosity? I have no idea what I'm looking at, but I fucking love it. It's like Bane if he really, really lost his shit. Gumshoe said mid squads. Oh, nice, dude. Nice. Third outer would be White Scars. Cool. So it's like Shattered Legions kind of thing. Nice. This cloth, I see what you've done. You see the texture, just the edges. I'd probably just go a little brighter for a secondary highlight in there and do the same again, because it's very, very subtle, and you've obviously gone through a lot of time and a lot of work to do all those tiny little lines on each of those creases. Every other part of the mini is very bright, and so I'd probably just do the same here. Just go a little step, just one more step up, mix in something like an off-white, like I'd use Sickly Skin from P3. You could use any kind of bright bone color, Mammoth White Highlight from P3. Anything like that, just to mix in with that same color and just do a couple. Don't do every single one. Just pick a couple out here and there. And that would work quite well. Just to give it that extra bit of pop, because the whole mini looks sick and definitely jumps out at you. And I think without that extra pass on the texture, you'll lose it at a distance. But I love this mini. I don't know what it is, but I fucking love it. So if you look at this image from here, you can't really see the texture. You can see your highlights, you can see your recesses, your shadow. Great. Good job. Really, really good job. And the color schemes that you've used, brilliant. Great use of color theory. Fantastic stuff. But even when you zoom in a little bit, it's not readily apparent. Best card sleeves, by the way. Is that the Dragon Shield thing? Let's go and look at that last shot that you've got just here. See, again, you can't really see the texture. So I just go a little bit further with the highlight on it. Just stretch it out a little bit more. The whole model has kind of got a slightly comic book aesthetic to it anyway, so don't worry too much about it being like a little bit out there. Just do a little patch somewhere that's easy to hide. If you don't like it so much, you can just sort of glaze it back down, but give it a go. It's a model from War Machine's Big Alice from the faction Crucible Guard. Mate, I love it. Oh, it's the bloody file name, you berg. This is super cool. A lot of the War Machine and Horde stuff I really like. The Hordes guys that look a lot like Tyranids, they've got some fucking gorgeous stuff in their line. It's just I've never played it. It looks cool. My ex gaming group used to play. There were two guys that played Hordes. No, yeah, they had the troll guys. Oh, something else that was red, I can't remember. But fucking great job, mate. Again, lovely use of color theory. The bright blue really offsets against that slightly pale pink for the flesh. The green works as well against both of those two colors. Fantastic job. And that is it for the whip. So, I didn't do this because I'm a bad person, but let's just grab both of these two panels. I'll pop these on so we can see exactly how this looks against our blue. I'm not going to glue them on, just in case I need to mess around a bit more with everything else that we've got going on here. But certainly we'll just get these placed on for a second. That's what we're looking at. Look at those. That red just fucking leaps off of the model at you. Really big fan of this. Mate, the chap it on bike, I love it. Absolutely love it. So there we go, we're getting there with Magnus. We've got the rest of the armor to finish off, which I will hopefully get done before... I won't get it done before next stream. That's going to be a total lie. I'm doing an all-day painting lesson on Saturday. Tomorrow, I'm going to try and get the wings sorted out. Maybe we'll work on the wings and the feathers on this guy so we can get some of what we've done on him. But we're getting there. Once we've got all of the armor plates done, we can assemble all of that and the head of Magnus. We've got the hair of Magnus coming in here as well. That's a nice bright ginger. Love that. So hopefully next week we can go back into our bag of things. We've got a load of cloth to do, and we've got a load of horns to do. And then it's just the base after this lot. So hopefully Magnus done within the next week and a half. Hopefully less. Don't forget to weigh the base. I'll do that in a sec. Because then we've got the base to do. Well reminded, a great segue. That base, we're going to do a whole lot of it on stream. And I'd love to get to that by the end of next week. And then not long after that, it's going to be all about some dank angles. Got a load of these boys to do. We've got some plasma inceptors to do. Got some eradicators to do when their kit comes out. Two of the big tank Goliath tanks. Maybe that's what they're called. I can't remember. Gonna paint his belt buckle. Ta-da! The belt, obviously, we'll just pick that up with just some sort of brown, purpley kind of colour going from there. But yeah, let's probably go on to these pretty soon. And then we've got a few extra bits like the book, and we've got some scrolls, and obviously his horns for both his head and his nip horns. Let's go and find Gladiator. That's the one. Let's go and find somebody to pass the hobby love on to. Last time it was Malev, who is an utter boss and was here earlier on. Today... God, Twitch has been really quiet recently. Is it just me, or is it... Let's see. Who have we got? Not many. Macy's on. Let's see what Macy's painted. We might go Macy. He is painting a tiny bit of purple on a Scorpec Lord. Let's check out Nalindy, see what she's up to. She's playing with some squig stickers or something. I don't know. Right, Nalindy or Night Mace? You guys choose. Macy's been going for, what does it say? Hour and a quarter. Cool, let's go raid Macy. So, thank you again to everyone for watching. A huge thanks to the Art of War and you guys that came over from there. Much love. One of my favourite hobby channels. Fucking love their stuff on YouTube. That podcast, besting about 40k right now. Guaranteed. So huge thanks to all of you. We will see you on Sunday, live at 9. We're going to carry on with Maggie. And maybe do the cloth bits. We'll see you then. Peace out, everyone. Have a good one.